Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to be doing our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these sectors and topics looking for potential investment opportunities. We do have a midweek update that I am releasing later tonight or tomorrow. And you can see directly kind of what I like without me holding back at all the companies, all that stuff. You can see exactly what I'm doing and the setups that I'm looking at. So we do have a discount coupon code. Special is the discount coupon code. Special gets you half off the first month and first month only in a monthly membership, and you get a larger discount on the yearly membership if you'd like to join. Let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on. We've got the DXY here, and we're up slightly in the DXY. We could pull back. It is a possibility still, but there's still some upside momentum on interest rates. And this setup here is a bearish engulfing with a small move higher, which generally projects lower. The 2-year is down slightly, but again, this has got upside momentum. No reversal candlestick yet. The 10-year, yeah, we were down slightly today, but the momentum is still up. No reversal candlestick. And we have broken out of this pattern here. But there is the possibility that we do a return move and a retest. And then the 30-year yield, we're down 0.4%. Momentum is still to the upside, and we have broken the pattern here to the upside. So up is the current movement. TYX TNX ratio down slightly, so we inverted a little bit for the 30-year and the 10-year. Generally speaking, gold follows this upward. So we were down a little bit, so this is a little bit of a headwind for gold. Bond prices up slightly. It is a reversal candlestick potentially. It's a bullish piercing where we could head higher in bond prices in the short term. So we could very well have a counter trend move in the short term over the next week or two. 2-year and the 10-year, we are uninverting. We're coming back down. And the 2-year was down a little bit more than the 10-year today. Now, when this generally falls pretty quickly, like it very well could, and the yield curve drops, it means that people are running to the safety of bonds. We haven't seen that yet, but it could come up at any point. Gold's up $7 an ounce. Here we are with gold. That still looks okay. We're above support. This is momentum coming down. We bounced up on support, and it's kind of sitting there. This could easily turn here to go up if it would like to. And I'm basing that off of the big bounce and then the small selling pressure next to it. That generally could move higher. Silver up 0.3. We are above support. We've broken all of the big, like from big picture view, guys, this looks fantastic. We've broken everything we've needed to. Your flag patterns there, we've broken out. And the overall big picture move is higher. And what happens is a lot of people get all twisted up because they focus on the short term. Higher is my opinion over the long term here. Now, does that mean that next week will be up? No, it doesn't mean that next week will be up. But what it means is that if you're a long-term holder like I am, don't worry about the next week. Just ride it on up. Platinum starting to break out in the short term. We squeezed into this falling wedge. Yes, I did buy some down here. Yes, we are going to go higher, it looks like. Now, some people are going to tell me platinum hasn't gone anywhere for like 10 plus years. Yeah, that's not why I'm buying it. I'm buying it because it's squeezing up in a pattern and it's going to break probably very soon. So it's all about asymmetry, it's all about patterns, and it's all about cycles. Up cycle, down cycle, up cycle. Hopefully you understand that. Goes like that. There's your cycles. And it's deeper than just that. Palladium up 2.5%. We're back to support. And we are bouncing off support to the upside, just like I thought it could do. Now, do I get these always right? No. Short-term trading, you lose quite often. And it makes you look like you're wrong all the time. But that's part of short-term trading, and I don't short-term trade. You're wrong a good chunk of the time, maybe 40, 45%. GDX sideways, GDXJ sideways, and SILJ sideways. Now, this still all look like they could continue lower. I do not see a reversal pattern, but that doesn't mean in the short term, guys, I can say this looks like it's an inverted flag pattern and it could go lower. But that doesn't mean that it will necessarily come out that way. So if we go up, people will say, "Oh, you're wrong. It's all wrong." It's like, well, yeah, but you're working with low probabilities. So what you do is you lengthen your lead time. You know, the not the lead time, but your time frame. Lengthen your time frame, buy at a bottom here, and then just ride. And that's what I'm doing. I'd say you to go ratio, we're up just a teeny bit, but we're right at the crossroads. It's probably a great time to buy because it's down so cheap. And silver looks good moving to the upside. Crude oil up 1.24%. We are breaking to the upside of this pattern. Looks pretty good in the short term. There's been a lot of individual equities that were doing false breakdowns. And yes, I had the cojones to get in there and buy some. But I'm a bull on oil. And some people will say, I don't understand how you could be a bull. I don't understand how you don't understand how cheap we are. And if you were to make bets, if this is your bell curve and you're always buying on the tail of this bell curve, but we're over here. It means that the probability of this going this way and getting more expensive is in my favor. And even if we're out here on the tail of how cheap we are, even if it goes over here a little bit, that just means you buy more. So when it goes this way, you make that difference. So if we're here and your downside is this and your upside is this, that's your asymmetry. Or if we go all the way to expensive, your asymmetry is even bigger. So to me, it just seems obvious, but I understand people don't even know that curve that I just showed, the bell curve, the normal distribution. They don't even understand that. So TTF gas up 0.4%, looking good. We're in an uptrend. Natural gas in America up almost 8%. We are getting jiggy with it, I guess. Looking good. Now, are we going to get all the way up to $7, $8? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go that high, but I can tell you I purchased it down here, and then I just waited. Natural gas. Let me see this actually. Here's natural gas in performance against BC. Let's do it against Bitcoin just for the heck of it. So natural gas is actually outperforming Bitcoin from the purchase price down here. And then there are companies that are up over 100% as well during that same time frame. So we are beating Bitcoin, at least with that particular portion of the portfolio. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me. We are getting a little bit of a bounce today, up 1.2. Is this the beginning of a move higher? Do not know yet, because we've got conflicting information. We have the pattern that's broken to the upside. then we could have an overextended return move, which means we could break out of all this. It's possible. We got to see what crude oil does, and in all honesty, guys, we're so cheap on crude oil. I don't see how we don't go up over a 2, 3, 4 year period. And I know everyone is so focused on the short term, but this year it's going to roll. It's going to go when crude oil goes. OIH up 1% as well. Again, these charts don't look all that great. We've pulled on back. Momentum is still lower. And it also has broken the uptrend channel that we had going on here. So we are chopping sideways. But I can just tell you this: drilled uncompleted wells are way down. We've depleted inventory for the most part, and we got to get drilling again at some point. So the price is too low for oil. Oil price has got to go up, and then we'll have to bring on drilled uncompleted wells and bring that inventory back up. Newcastle coal future continuing to move a little bit lower. We are still above support. Nothing's changed. We've got Sprott Physical Uranium Trust still in the pattern. They're down about 1%, and we could be heading towards the lower end of the pattern here. Uranium, I do think we could come back to the mid 60s, $64 or so. We've got URA down slightly. It looks like it's trying to turn. We'll see if it can do that. Uranium doing the same thing. It's trying to turn here. We'll see if it's successful. And URNJ doing the same thing. It's trying. Copper up 0.6 right at support. There's the support line that I drew in there. We've got COPX moving sideways too. We've had pretty good downside. We are squeezing a little bit where we could get a little bit more downside left in it. Still possible. It's an upward facing pattern like this one's upward facing. Iron ore up 0.3. Iron ore doesn't look that bad. I think it looks good. And we're squeezing up into a corner here. It's that quote dead period. The dead period is when the buyers equal the sellers. Aluminum up 2%. We're still in that pesky channel, and we haven't broken out yet, but it will with time. Inflation is everywhere. It will get to aluminum, and then eventually the price of aluminum will continue to go up. Nickel down 0.8, looking pretty weak. We could see some downside selling pressure here if the sellers want to push it. Looks like they're trying to push it lower. Mu up 0.22% today. There we are. Momentum's to the downside in the short term. Emerging markets coming on up a little bit. We did have a slightly stronger dollar, slightly weaker yields. Not much help from that front, we'll call it, but slightly higher. KRE bouncing off support a little bit. We'll see what follow through we get. We did kind of fall off a rock here, and we could bounce and come back down again. We'll have to see what it looks like. TAN up 1%. I'm not touching it. Lithium up 1.4. Lithium's right at support. Support this trend line there. We broke out, and we're kind of sitting right on top of the trend line. REMX up 1.4%, looking like it's trying to turn almost back. This is a really cheap area here, guys. This would be a good entry point in my opinion. Baltic Dry Index up 0.4%. This one's got a little bit of downside momentum behind it, but it's trying to turn. We'll see if it can turn. XHB down or up 0.5%. We've got lots of downside pressure here, though, and that could be a inverted flag pattern. I would be patient. Russell 2000 is up 1%. It's kind of at this support region here. We're just bouncing a little bit higher. The S&P 500 up 1.1. Kind of interesting that we get this big selling pressure to move, and they're like, hey, plunge protection team, push this guy higher. Push it, push it, push it. We can't have money rotate to energy because we're going to see it in the consumer price index. We got to keep people over in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. NASDAQ up 1.35%, heading higher there too. SMCI up, but it's going to base. Give it time. Nvidia's down slightly. So we're just chopping sideways here. Bitcoin up 4.2. It's bouncing off support. Ethereum up 1.6, bouncing off support as well. There's your support line going across. Then MicroStrategy is up 6.86%. Not a great looking chart. You come down and your flag, and this generally works its way lower, but Bitcoin doesn't look that bad. So if it breaks upward, I would assume that MicroStrategy goes with it. And the VIX is pulled back. All under control, plunge per team. Got it. We got it, guys. Hold it back down. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Discount or special is the discount coupon code. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.